know it ain't minute like six though. Never need an intro. Yeah, even through the talk and all the chatter, I can show them that I know my family matters like a Winslow. Outdoors smoking Indo.
And welcome back to another NFL prediction video. Today we are going to be covering the NFC North. Not really a weak division, but not really a strong division either. Every team in this division except for the Packers is kind of iffy sometimes. They'll do good half a season and fall off. They're definitely not the weakest, but I wouldn't say they're a strong division. Aaron Rodgers basically owns every team in this division. But let's go ahead and get into it. The first team we have up on the list today is the Green Bay Packers, the favorite to win this division every year. And before I actually start talking about why the Packers are so good, I want to know why these Bears fans and these Vikings fans decide that, oh, it's time to sleep on the Packers just because they lost Devontae. In what world are y'all living in that y'all think that the Bears and Vikings are now going to compete with the Packers just because they lost one player? One player! I don't understand. Y'all think y'all are so good, but let's not. The Bears and Vikings fans think their team is so good that just because they lost Devontae Adams, Packers are going to go to shit. First of all, let's start it off then. You got Aaron Rodgers, a back-to-back MVP winner. Back-to-back. He's probably going to make it 3 times. That's my pick. I think he'll win it a 3rd time this next season. Speaking about Aaron Rodgers, last season, Aaron Rodgers was 2-0 without Devontae Adams. And then, if y'all remember correctly, I believe it was week 8 or 9, Packers went to Arizona to play the 7-0 Cardinals. The Packers didn't have Devontae Adams, they didn't have MVS, and they didn't have Randall Cobb. And Robert Tonyan basically didn't play all season last year. Who was the leading receiver on this Packers team going into that night? Allen Lazard. Who wins that game? The Green Bay Packers. They don't win that game without Aaron Rodgers. And he didn't have his top 3 receivers during that game. And yet y'all have the audacity to slander this man and say y'all are winning the division because he lost one player. One player. I don't get it. And let's not forget you have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, a dual-headed monster basically in the backfield. Aaron Jones is fast, gets in cuts. A.J. Dillon's the bulldozer. Their run game is tremendous, especially behind a great offensive line. David Bakhtiari's coming back too. Let's not forget, he just got taken off the PUP list. That offensive line is great. And with these type of running backs, it's great. But everybody's talking about, oh, the receivers, they're so young, yada yada yada. What are they gonna do? I already said this. Aaron Rodgers went in without his top 3 receivers, facing a 7-0 team last year, and won without his top 3 receivers, and went 2-0 without Devontae Adams this past year. I think it's like Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers makes everybody around him better, and he's going to continue to do that with Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Christian Watson. Like I said, he gets Robert Tonyan back. And it's just like, what are y'all, what are y'all watching? I don't understand. It's crazy that y'all think just because one player leaves that the whole team is going to fall off. No. Aaron Rodgers is going to turn these 3rd-string receivers, as y'all say, into Pro Bowlers by the end of the year. I guarantee it. And he's probably still going to either take the 1 or 2 seed, like the Packers always do. And let's not forget about the defense. The Packers have a top 5 defense. Whether you like it or not, top 5 defense. Top 3 secondary. You got one of the best corners in the league, Jair Alexander. Okay. Top 5 corner. You got Rasul Douglas. Had a breakout year last year. Played great all year. You have Eric Stokes. Played well as a rookie. Probably going to come in and do better things this year. And then you got your safeties, Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos. This is a top 3 secondary. If injuries didn't happen last year, Jair would have played a full season. This defense would have been even better. And then you got Devondre Campbell in the middle of the field. He just made the top 100 list. He had a great season. Man's not talked about enough. You got Kenny Clark in the trenches. Great defensive tackle. Can stuff the run whenever. He can also rush. It's amazing. You're Rashawn Gary who can come off the edge along with Preston Smith. I know you got rid of Zadarius Smith. He left in free agency, yada, yada, yada. He joined the Vikings. But at the end of the day, this team is still a top team in the NFL. Matt LaFleur has this team right. And the only reason they lost to the 49ers in this recent playoff game was because of their special teams. Do you realize the Packers held the Niners to 6 points? 6 total points on offense? It's 2 field goals. The touchdown they had came from a special teams error. If Aaron Rodgers only needed 10 points to win that game, if the special teams holds up, the score is 10-6. Aaron Rodgers going to the NFC Championship to play the Rams. And who knows, he might play better that game. But like I said, if the special team doesn't mess up, Aaron Rodgers is going back to another NFC Championship. Oh, and then we all joke about how he can't win in the NFC Championship when it mattered. I guarantee you, if this man were to make it back one more time, at least once more, he'd win it, and he would go back and probably get another Super Bowl, whoever he played. All right, now let's take a look at the Packers 2022 schedule. Starting off in Minnesota, win. Then you got Chicago, win. You got the Bucks, they'll take your first loss. Patriots, win. Giants, win. Jets, win. Washington, win. Bills, I think you'll lose to that one. Lions, win. Cowboys, win. Titans, win. Eagles, win. Bears, win. Rams, can go either way, but I'm going to give them a win. Dolphins, win. Vikings, win. And to end the season against the Lions, I'm going to say loss. Only reason because Aaron Rodgers and the starters don't play the last week of the season if they already have a playoff spot guaranteed. So I'll give that one to the Lions. Realistically speaking, I see the Packers going 14-3 for this upcoming year. The ceiling, I'll give them 15-2, and then the floor, I'll give them 13-4. This team is too good to lose 5 games, so I don't think that would happen. Barring any injuries to, of course, Aaron Rodgers or anybody else, this team's too good, and they're going to continue dominating. I'm sorry, Bears and Vikings fans, but at least be like a Lions fan who know y'all suck, but y'all know deep down y'all suck, but you're still gonna root for your team, but you're not gonna win anything. Just be like that, because Aaron Rodgers is still gonna own this division year in and year out until he retires. Now let's move on to the Minnesota Vikings. Decent team every year. They win a few games that they really shouldn't win, but somehow they're always just out of reach for that playoff contention. And guess where it all starts? It starts with Kirk Cousins. The definition of a mediocre quarterback. I just don't know how else to put it, honestly. 68, or what was his career record is 68-2, I believe. Mediocre. He just made the top 100 at 99. He had a good season this last year, but Kirk Cousins, let's be real. Kirk Cousins is the definition of a mid QB. He can win games that he's supposed to win, but when it comes down to it, it's time to make the playoffs or perform in the playoffs. He just can't do it. Oh, but he beat the Saints a few years ago. Yeah, it's the Saints. Anybody can beat the Saints in the playoffs, dude. The Saints suck in the playoffs. Congratulations. You're not fucking special. But it's just, it's frustrating because there's a lot of throws. I know it's frustrating for Vikings fans because, there's a lot of throws that the receivers make Kirk Cousins look good. Like Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen make Kirk Cousins look good. But when you're overthrowing your wide open receivers, or you can't hit the target with your wide open receivers, it's just like, damn, like what are you gonna do? Like I said, it all starts with Kirk Cousins. If he can, actually get going, if he can actually hit his targets, this team will be fine. They did just get new coaching. They're gonna be more of a pass first type of offense. Maybe that'll help, But you can't shy away from Dalvin Cook still. He's top 10 running back in this league. He runs hard. He plays great. He's a great running back. Personally, I have him on a few fantasy drafts just because he's that good, And of course, you got a top 5 receiver right now in Justin Jefferson. Right now, not of all time. Don't trip. Top 5 right now in Justin Jefferson, who is just amazing. Can make any catch within the numbers, outside the numbers, deep, mid, short, it doesn't matter. He can take a screen all the way. It does not matter. He's just so good. I love watching Justin Jefferson play. Let's not forget about Adam Thielen and KJ Osborne. They're also really good receivers. Adam Thielen's such a great short to mid route runner. He's getting a little older. Just turned 32, I believe. He's getting a little older, so he's not gonna be able to move a lot, but he's still his catch radius is amazing. KJ Osborne is also the same way. His catch radius is amazing. He did a lot of great things, and he's been doing a lot of great things in training camp recently. So we'll see how this plays out. But their O line is a little weak. So, I wouldn't expect much from the O line. Maybe, they can get better. Maybe they can improve. And then we look at the defense. You got a top five linebacker in Eric Kendricks. He's so good. He's the leader of that defense. He can make plays, shoot the gaps really well, cover really well. He's a hard hitter as well. And then, you got Pat Pete, you got Harrison Smith. Older guys, they're a little on the older side, but they could still ball out of their minds. We all know Pat Pete, how electric Pat Pete used to be. I still believe he has some of that electrifying stuff within him. And then you got Harrison Smith, who's just a heavy hitter all around. He can, ooh, he's a little on the slow side, but he still make plays. And you got a great pass rusher in Danielle Hunter. He's fast for his position. He can get off the line, get to the quarterback fast, make plays against the run. And then in the draft, you got Andrew Booth, you got Lewis Seen, two great additions, to help that secondary out. It wasn't the greatest secondary, top. I think they were a bottom five defense last year, so it's major help for them. But in all honesty, it just comes down to will the coaching be good, and or will Kirk Cousins be able to thrive in this new offense? Now let's take a look at the Vikings schedule. Green Bay, you start off with week 1, Green Bay, loss. Philly, loss. Detroit week 3, win. New Orleans week 4, loss. Chicago, win. Miami, loss. Okay, going into your bye week. Arizona, loss. Washington, win. Buffalo, loss. Dallas, loss. New England, win. Jets, win. Detroit, win. Indy, loss. Giants, loss. Green Bay. Wait, no, the Giants. We'll give the Giants. We'll say win for the Giants. I don't know why I said loss. Giants, loss. Oh, you get a win for the Giants. Green Bay, loss. Chicago, win. Realistically speaking, I have the Vikings going 8-9, and not really. Their schedule's kind of tough this year, and they are a pretty mediocre team, so it factors in. So around an 8-9 record sounds about right. It's usually how the Vikings finish almost every year, anyways. I give the ceiling 10 wins because the Vikings sometimes do sneak out wins they're not supposed to. And then for the floor, we'll go 6 wins. This team has potential to be great. It's just a matter of will they be great. Now we are looking at the Detroit Lions, a team who I believe can be a heavy playoff sleeper team and make the playoffs at a 7th seed. And here's why. I'll start with Dan Campbell, the head coach. Former NFL player, played around a decade in this league. He knows ins and outs. He knows what he wants to see, and he's gonna make sure his team shows him that. This is a man who he hates losing more than he loves winning, and that's what you want in a head coach. You want your head coach to feel the same way as the players do, and that's what I love about Dan Campbell. And I feel like he brings he brings plenty of energy to this team, the way every coach should. He's active with his players. He does what his players do. He's doing drills with his players. And Hard Knocks is very indicative of that. This is the type of coach every team needs, in my opinion. And looking back at last year, one of the worst records, but there was a ton of games last year where they were only lost by one score. Only one score. This Lions team had one of the worst records, but only lost a ton of games by one score. 3 points or less sometimes. It's just they need to put the pieces together. And now it starts with Jared Goff. Yes, he falls in that same category as Kirk Cousins, a mediocre quarterback. But I feel like he has the weapons necessary around him. Granted, he doesn't have his Rams weapons like he used to. He was under Sean McVay, an offensive guru, which is why he was able to get those Rams to the Super Bowl in 2019. It's not the same, but I feel like he has what he needs to succeed. You go and get Jameson Williams in the draft. He's not going to start the first few weeks, because of his ACL. He's probably going to miss around 4 to 5 weeks. But once he gets back, he's going to be a threat. You have DJ Shark, an underrated receiver in my opinion. He's not, he's not up there. He's not top 15, top 20, but he can play. He can make plays. He can snag passes out of midair, out of nowhere. And then you have DeAndre Swift, you have Jamal Williams, you have TJ Hawkinson. Everybody who can, these guys can ball. These guys can ball, you know? Like it's just they have, and then of course you have the dog Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is so good. I love watching him play. I love watching Hard Knocks, and he's just balling out of his mind. He's doing what needs to be done. He works hard. The pieces are there for this offense. It's just can they put it together? Because if they put it together, I feel like they could be dangerous. The defense lacking, lacking a lot in you know you have Aiden Hutchinson drafted with the number 2 overall pick. My pick for defense rookie of the year. I think he'll be great. Your linebacker core is weak. Your defensive line is weak. You have Almani. You have Jeff Okuda in your secondary. But it's just it's. I feel like this defense can be better. I don't think they will be, but like I said, it's really if the offense can put it together and the defense can make a few plays, this team will be good. But the defense is really what steers me away from having this team sneak into the playoffs. Still a still a good possibility because we know how the Chiefs. This comparison is crazy, but the Chiefs defense, you know, they're not as great. They're not good, but their offense picks up the slack and does what needs to be done. And I feel like this Lions team can be the same way. Now, yes, obviously Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff are two totally different quarterbacks, but it's the same. It's not the same type of players, but it's the same type of situation to me. And I feel like the Lions can make the most out of the situation if they can produce. Now, looking at the Lions' upcoming schedule for this year, start off with the Eagles week 1. I think that's a loss. Washington, I think that's a win. Minnesota, loss. Seattle, I think I said win for the Lions here. New England, loss. You go into your bye week. Come out, you play the Cowboys, loss. Miami, loss. Green Bay, loss. Chicago, win. Giants, win. Bills, loss. Jags, win. Vikings, they can go either way. I think I said loss though. Jets, win. Panthers, I believe you win this one. Bears, win. And actually, say loss against the Bears, and then you'll lose against Green Bay. Sadly, I only have the Lions going 7-10 realistically. I do believe this team could hit the 9-win threshold. That's their ceiling, 9 wins. But I do believe they could also fall to 5 wins as their floor. But 7-10 seems realistic just off the fact that their defense is really weak. And they have a lot of tough opponents that have great offenses this year, such as the Bills, the Packers. Vikings got a good offense when they're all healthy. But it's just you know, it's gonna be a lot of close score games this year, I believe as well. You know, do I want to see the Lions somehow hit the 9-win threshold, sneak in the playoffs? Yes, because I'd feel like they're trying, they're doing the best with what they got, but unfortunately, I believe a 7-10 season is in sight for this team. And finally, we're taking a look at the Chicago Bears, a team who struggled these past few years. It's we all remember back in 2018 the double doink, and the Bears have never been the same since. But it's the fact that this team used to be great. They had one of the scariest defenses in the league. Their offense could put numbers up, and it's just like what happened, you know. But right now we're working with Justin Fields, who I believe is gonna have a big jump from his rookie year to this next year. I believe this man will do great things. I would think he'll put up better numbers, have his turnover ratio go down. I think he'll be great. He's gonna limit his turnovers. He's gonna make a lot more throws that he couldn't make before. He's gonna help his offense, which is definitely needed because his offense struggles a lot. You have David Montgomery, made the top 100 list as well. He's a great runner. He can make plays when needed. He can take a lot of extra pressure off Justin Fields. And then you also have Darnell Mooney, a great receiver for the Chicago Bears. I believe he can come in. He's going to come in this year, better. I love watching Darnell Mooney play. His route running is amazing. He can go up high, point the ball. He does what's necessary to help his quarterback out and make Justin Fields look better than what he actually is. So, but like I love watching Darnell Mooney. I hope he has another breakout year. You have Cole Kmet. He's not really all that. Your offensive line struggles it's what's killing Justin Fields though. The Bears these past 2 years have the offensive line has been not great to them. A lot of sacks, a lot of QB hits, a lot of hurries, which leads to more forced interceptions. You know, and it's just if they can get the offensive line going again, I believe they'll do great. New coaching staff finally got rid of Matt Nagy, so we'll see how that operates. New system. You lost Khalil Mack, who is on the older side, so not too bad, I guess. You did get some compensation for him. Um, but you still got Roquan Smith. He's coming back after trying to hold out for a new contract. One of the better middle linebackers. Robert Quinn, who had 18 and a half sacks last year, almost 20 sacks last year. He's really good as well. You have Jalen Johnson and Eddie Jackson in the secondary. Jalen Johnson, we don't talk about him enough, but he is a great corner to have. He can shut down. He does let some stuff get by him sometimes. He's not the greatest. He's not in that top 5 discussion, but he's a solid corner. He plays really well. He can play the ball really well. Eddie Jackson's also getting up there in age, I believe. I think he had a down year last year, so if he can pick it back up, that'll help this Bears defense a lot. And then uh, Jaquan Brisker, he is playing great in this preseason. I think he's done enough already to earn at least a spot, maybe even a starting spot on this Bears defense, and that would help them out a lot, in my opinion. Their secondary is a little weak, so I believe this will help them out. But this Bears team in general isn't really the best, and I don't see them getting any better this next season. But I would like to see Justin Fields have a better year, and I would like to see Darnell Mooney also have a better year than this last year. Now, looking at the Chicago Bears schedule, you open up the year with the 49ers, you take a loss. Green Bay, loss. Texans, win. Giants, win. Minnesota, loss. Commanders, loss. New England, loss. Dallas, loss. Dolphins, loss. Lions, I said loss. They split the series. Atlanta, win. Jets, win. Packers, loss. Bye week. Then you got the Eagles, loss. Bills, loss. Detroit, win. Vikings, win. Realistically speaking, I only see the Bears going 6-11 this year. I don't think new coaching. This offensive line is terrible. This defense is really not that great either. But 6-11 seems reasonable. I think the ceiling can go to 8, maybe even 9. I'll say 8 for now, and then the floor will be 4 wins. This Bears team has a lot to work on. Maybe they'll get it figured out this season. We'll just have to wait and see, But I want to see Justin Fields thrive. I want to see this Darnell Mooney thrive. I want to see this Bears team thrive. I want the best for them. But unfortunately, I don't think that's happening this year. Want to thank you for watching yet another prediction video. We only got 3 more divisions left, so hopefully I can get those all done this week sometime. Hopefully, but you know, next I think we're going over the AFC North, so just stay tuned, and of course, thanks for watching.
Blood don't make you kinfolk. Loyalty is what I send for. No half stepping, only 10 toes. Now life is at a different tempo.